Hello everyone, and welcome back to Monster Review Girl. Today we are gonna be talking about the Scylla, Monster Girl. I'm so sorry, there was a little bit of setup I kinda forgot to do in all the falderall of chaos and mayhem that is my life. Okay, and okay, just a second. I'm trying to find, where your guys' comments are. So I can start, so we can actually, like, get started over here. Okay, so, it's okay, don't worry about it. Sometimes these things can get a little, messy. So today we are going to be talking about one of the canon monster girls to the Monster Girl Encyclopedia, and that is the Scylla. Now, obviously, the Scylla has a humanoid body from the waist up, or like hips, upper thigh area, I think. I'm not good at anatomy. And octopus bits from that point down. Oh, nope. Not what I wanted to do. Not that. Ah. Sorry. First, this type of episode, there's always going to be a little bit of bugs. So, this is one of the types of monster that lives in the ocean. They're of the Scylla family, and they're technically a mollusk type, and I enjoy the biological accuracy there because octopi and the other cephalopods are technically mollusks. They just wear their shells inside them. So, many individuals are pretty strong-willed and kind of ferocious. They'll attack ships traveling at sea, stealing food, men, whatever. And, but to be entirely honest, well, they have a strong side, but they're also pretty cowardly as well. Because of this, they typically hide in really tight crevices that normal human beings really should not be able to fit into, but they can because they're Mamona and they don't abide by basic human logic. In spite of the bold dispositions they have, they're surprisingly insecure and starved for affection. They enjoy and love being in the company of men so much that they'll basically cling right on. They feel uneasy unless they're clinging to a guy. To each their own. I guess the shell is located outside of their spine, right? I am not the most intelligent person on the face of the earth when it comes to anything like mollusks, the ability of right, yeah. Moving right along. basically, they are at their happiest when they're clinging on to a guy. When they find a guy that strikes their fancy, they basically kind of go, mine, and then sort of skedaddle off with him. They basically, they really like, enveloping the guy in just all the tentacles. And having a good time with that. So they share an environment with the monster girls called the Charybdis, and they, for the longest time, were thought to live in pairs. While ships are stopped by the whirling tides generated by the Charybdis, the Scylla snatch men from the ships and will also sometimes go after the men spat out by the Charybdis. And also tell me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Please do. Also, besides hanging out the Charybdis' nests, they prefer lurking in small spaces, so they often go into the Charybdis' nest holes to seek shelter. For that reason, they're extremely friendly towards the Charybdis. However, the Charybdis resent them for stealing the men, and for sneaking into their nesting holes when they're in the middle of things. The Scylla have two subspecies, the Kraken and the Mind Flayer. I will eagerly talk about both of those in just a second. The Scylla was based off of the ancient Greek monster. Scylla was an attractive woman who, for reasons, yes, like from Finding Nemo. It's based on the ancient Greek monster Scylla. Scylla, from what I remember of the myth, was an attractive woman who got the gods angry at her somehow, and they turned her into a big scary tentacle monster. Nearby was the monster Charybdis, and sailors passing through the area had to choose between facing and surviving either of the two, resulting in the idiom between Scylla and Charybdis, or as we know it, between a rock and a hard place. So, now we're gonna talk about the most common and most sort of true to the original subspecies of Scylla, the Kraken, a type of Scylla that has a lower body like that of a squid. They normally live at the bottom of the ocean and rarely reveal themselves in front of humans. Possessing tremendous physical strength, they can seize prey and drag it to the bottom of the sea with their 10 flexible tentacles, which possess a countless number of suckers. Their disposition is pretty calm, and they're pretty easygoing. When they obtain a guy, they don't really fuss over the details. Sometimes they'll just drag down an entire ship to get a guy who was on board. For that reason, if they begin seeking a man, at that time, a lot of other seagoing monsters will sort of gather around her to go after the men that are sort of collateral when she drags down a ship. They can spit a black energy that's kind of like ink, that has an ink-like consistency out of their skin. Out of their skin? Out of their mouths, my bad. They can create darkness in the entire area around them, trapping the guy who's struck their fancy within. The only thing the guy will be able to see is their bodies, which are very, very pale white and tend to glow very sort of alluringly. The ink sort of allows them to create a private space. Being a member of the Scylla family, they have a great fondness for being in close